In my quest to create this identity on YouTube, I lost my authenticity. If your identity is tied to a product, you're disposable the second that product disappoints. I've been on YouTube for 10 years, and in that time, I invested a bunch of myself, both emotionally, financially, physically, spiritually, into YouTube. And I was in search of something. I was trying to find something that was meaningful to me. And unfortunately, what I realized along the way was that I put my identity at risk. And that became very apparent to me just a few short days ago. So I knew something had to change. Now, when I say my identity was at risk, I'm not talking about identity theft from hackers and scammers. It was to the very advice from the experts I thought I was supposed to be following. It was this identity that was meant to serve a very specific niche. So again, as you know, I've been doing this for 10 years, and if you count when I launched Retail Street Fight, it's actually closer to 20 years. But this channel specifically has been around since 2017, and in that time I attempted to do what the experts told me to do. I watched their videos and I listened to the gurus, and the message was always the same: niche down, niche down, niche down. And maybe that works for some people. I know that Gary Vee would not recommend niching down. I know that Brendan Kane would not recommend niching down. But if you've got one specific thing you want to talk about over and over and over again, then yeah, maybe a niche makes sense. If you're selling an online course or a specific product, it's probably a good idea to talk in those specific terms. But here's what happened to me, and if this video ended up in your feed, then it's probably because you've gotten to a point where niching down may not be working for you. My journey to find a niche, to build an audience, to self-promote, to shape some kind of brand identity, it backfired on me, and it backfired big time. I was not finding clarity. I was losing myself. In my quest to create this identity on YouTube, I lost my authenticity. The person that I identify as when I am just being true to myself, my family, my friends. That's when I realized that my niche is no niche. Now, what you're going to get from me here on this channel are insights from a life well lived across a spectrum of categories that I deeply care about: faith and music, leadership, relationships, personal development, sales, whatever it is, all of it. I love it all, and I want to talk about all of it, because when I look back at the moments that mattered the most to me, they weren't about fitting into one neat little category and pitching a premise or a promise. What was most important to me were the connections that I was making. There's this guy I know, young man named Jordan Stone King, and he used to work for me a few years back. And I met Jordan when he was young and up and coming and making his way in a company that we worked for. And he and I connected, and we connected on a lot of different levels. We loved talking professionally. We loved talking about sales and leadership and business and how to motivate people. But we also loved talking about other things. We talked about God and faith. We talked about relationships. We talked about music. We gossiped, we rumored, we just connected on all these amazing different levels. And Jordan was just one of quite a few people that I shared this connection with. And so what I realized was Jordan wasn't connected to me because of a niche that he was interested in. he was connected to me because of all of the things that we loved to talk about. All of the things that we loved to talk about. Some days we were laughing, some days we were crying, some days I was angry at him, some days he was angry at me. But all of it fit into this wonderful, nice, little specific package called connection. And so here's where I want to go a little bit deeper with you. You see, when people only connect with your product, a video, a course, a book, a service, the second that product disappoints them or gets stale, they disconnect from you. The moment I felt let down by the course, I didn't just lose interest in the product, I lost belief in the person behind it and anyone else pitching a similar method. The connection broke, and when it did, I tuned out completely to anyone and everyone trying to pitch me on the same thing. And that's when it hit me. If your identity is tied to a product, you're disposable the second that product disappoints. So let's flip this around. Let's flip the script. What if people connect with you first, with your voice, with your perspective on life, your passions, your convictions, your successes and your struggles, and your product then becomes an extension of their connection with you, not the other way around. Then the videos, the stories, the lessons, all of that becomes a byproduct of the connection. Realizing this means I can broaden my assortment. I can talk about music one week, leadership the next week, faith the week after that, and so on. And instead of focusing on a small group of people who like a very specific topic, I get to connect with anyone who shares my considerations about a multitude of topics, because the connection isn't to the topic, it's to the person. That's the whole point of the no niche niche. So, 10 years on YouTube almost cost me my identity because I believed the lie that I had to squeeze myself into a specific box, deliver content in a formatted way, establish expertise in a specific arena, and discard the rest. I know this. My relationship with Jordan would never have flourished the way it has if it had been that narrow and that singular dimensioned. Here's what I know now. If you build around identity, if people connect with you because of who you are, then you'll never have to chase a niche. Life is the niche. Stories make the connection, and wisdom provides the value. And that's where the freedom is. And when who you are resonates with your core connections, they will want more of you and even pay you for it if that's what you want. Now me, I love what I'm doing. And although I'm still a head of sales for a premier brand, I'm no longer selling stuff. I'm helping the next level of leaders create their journey of greatness. That's connection. So no, I don't have a niche. What I have is me. And if that's enough, you and we're going to get along just fine. I'm Arnie. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing.